stand tall, live on my knees, 'cause I am a conqueror, and I won't accept defeat. Try telling me.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Passionate Characters. My name is Naomi Church, your host for Passionate Characters, where we highlight everyday individuals who are passionate and driven. All right, today with me I have Courtney.
Hi.
She's our guest for this episode. Thank you so much for coming out. How are you doing today?
Good. It's a rainy day, but I'm blessed to be alive.
All right, so let's get into it.
Okay.
What are you passionate about?
So first and foremost, I'm passionate about just the entertainment and media industry in a nutshell. Some of my hobbies that are my passions are reading, gym, family, friends, Amazon shopping. But mainly entertainment and media.
What do you want to do with the media?
So I want to get into branding and marketing for artists and major labels, major television companies.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah, so I really had a good time with my experience just working behind the scenes at Bowie, and then also internships, and then now at a marketing agency that I work.
Okay.
So I just love it.
So you do branding with the agency you work for now?
Yes.
What is that like?
So it's very fast-paced. Agency life is very fast-paced. Depending on the clientele that you have and the budget and what they need.
Right.
But for the most part, it's time management. I have a lot of flexibility, but I'm also still at the training stages, so sometimes it's like a lot of questions, but I'm learning a lot, so it's not really for the entertainment industry, it's just for companies in general, but I still have that. I'm getting that experience of figuring out what the customer wants, what they need, what's time efficient and budget efficient at the same time. So, yeah.
Do you see yourself continuing on there for a long period of time, or do you think you would definitely want to get into the entertainment?
Definitely client services, which is kind of what I'm doing now for a long time, but in this specific industry, I'm not sure. I haven't really, not closed-minded to the issue,
right?
But my passion is with entertainment, so I would like to essentially get to the entertainment companies and do more with them.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So entertainment-wise, who would your top 3 clients be?
I already know. Jermaine Cole, Sean Jay-Z Carter, and Beyonce Phyllis Carter. Those are my 3. Mainly because I just love their music. Specifically, I follow J. Cole and his record label or team. So I'm pretty, not heavily involved. I don't sound like a super stan, but I know a lot about their direction and what they want to do as a company. Just by watching them, Jay-Z, I admire his hustle, but I admire more specifically how he moves. He's not like the flashy Diddy.
That is very silent.
Yeah, you know, Diddy's like flashy, and I love Diddy, don't get me wrong, flashy, but then Jay-Z is more conservative and more like, hey, just, you know, right to get down to it, and that's more like my personality type. Beyonce is just a badass, and
she is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, she's amazing.
Speaking like Jay-Z wise, I feel like if you're moving silently, you know, when you make these big moves, everybody's just like, wait a minute,
it's
like
like
just really happening.
Right, it's like, I know he's capable of it, but wait, did it just happen? Like with the whole, did you see Made in America?
I did not.
The issue, so Made in America, the mayor had announced that he did not want it in Philly for the remainder of, I guess, its time just being a festival. This year's going to be last year. Jay-Z, who someone says he owns it, I'm not 100% sure, but I know he's heavily involved in it. Basically expressed his disinterest and his disappointment, more specifically with the mayor, and then they had a chat, and now he's back in the city of Philadelphia. It was like, oh my goodness, I know.
What did they talk about?
Yeah, I know Jay-Z is capable of it, but
and he has a tremendous amount of influence.
Yeah, it's like less than a month all this happened. He said it's not going to be in there, and then now it's back.
And definitely with, you know, Beyonce at his side, they're just, their
power
team,
couple.
they're definitely a big power couple. So what is something branding-wise that you would do with J. Cole?
Branding-wise, I would do with J. Cole. One thing that I really admire, first of all, just want to say what I admire, his Down in a Dream concert, which I thought was an amazing branding plan, branding opportunity. He has these or he used to have, or she still have, concerts that he charged $1. Because his thing was like $1 a drink. That was kind of his come up, like not slogan, but some songs were involved with $1 a drink. And the song was called $1 a drink, and then he made a concert called the $1 a drink concert. And both years I did go, but they charge $1, and it's like, that's an amazing opportunity for a fan that may not have money to, pay for a ticket, and all you have to do is just have time to stand, of course, for the ticket, but
and just pay $1.
yeah, I thought that was dope. But what I would do with him, I haven't really gave like a thought as to like what I would specifically do with him.
So far, how do you think he's doing?
I think he's doing amazing. If I had the opportunity, I think my next step would be getting him involved in the community outreach aspect of it, because I know he has a Dreamville Foundation. It's similar to what LeBron has done in school. I would love to see J. Cole do something like that in the community, something at that scale. Granted, you have to have capital for it and things like that, but just that impact, I would love to be a part of figuring out what we can do for the community, because his last album had a lot to do with killing out demons and addiction and things like that. So if we can mix in the KOD aspect to the community, I think that would be a good opportunity.
I agree. I think he would be a great candidate for like a community rec center. Something like that.
It doesn't have to be high scale.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have to be. It can even be placed, where he came from. I think that would be something that's wonderful.
Yeah, and he does a lot of like events and things like that, but I would love to be a part of something that's standing and monumental.
Yeah, definitely. So talk to us about some of the internships you had.
So specifically, I've had 2 in the events part or sector industry, and then one I had specifically in entertainment with BET when it was headquartered in Washington, D.C. I did marketing analytics for BET, so studying why people are watching, what they're watching at the time they're watching. When should we post this show versus another show? Why is a show like Martin effective at this time slot versus another time zones and things like that? Monitoring our competitors, or their competitors, I don't say our, their competitors, and what they're doing as far as programming as well. And then identifying opportunities for us to program at certain days, certain spots. Also, with the events internships I had, one was with a wedding agency, which was amazing because of like weddings, on weddings. But that gave me a lot of insight on just how to manage events in general, because entertainment events are just the same. I did a Being Mary Jane office party with BT when I was there. It was very similar to the wedding. So those 2 are really good.
Okay. What would you say, which is the one that you liked more than the other one, or they were equal?
I would say they were equal, only because the BET position was more office-based and more sitting down, Excel spreadsheet, figuring out the why.
With the weddings, you were probably up.
The creative and fast-paced and just the getting around. So I like the opportunity of both.
I would agree, because I think there were some times where I would, like to be in my chair and, the computer's in front of me and I'm getting into the analytics and the spreadsheets, all the other stuff. And then other times I would be getting up and go and meeting different people and, this needs to go here, this food, not that food, and these decorations.
It is. And the lady I worked under, the events planning company, she was amazing, very insightful, very professional. Looks like me, which was a plus, because I just love working with us. I'm not saying nothing wrong with anyone. But it's just like you see someone in front of you owning their own business, and then how you operate and work with people is just inspiring. So
that's very inspiring. And I think it's great, women of color being the boss and doing their own things and what they're passionate about, not answering to anybody. I think it's a beautiful thing. So definitely understand what you're saying. It's definitely inspiring. And, that's an awesome opportunity.
Same with BT. People, and I know it's like, of course, BT, but BT has people of all nationalities and cultures working there, but my department is Black women. So that's another thing another opportunity working with Black women.
So what are some next steps for you?
Next steps, I'm currently getting my master's degree in media management. Planning to graduate spring 2019. I felt like it was the longest 2 years. Like, we went by in like 4 years like that, and then like these years, I'm just like, oh my goodness, so many classes left. So that's next. Hopefully being promoted in my current position. And then hopefully next year, I'm making a major move to an area of Maryland that offers opportunity for my career, also my pockets. So.
Right.
So that's just next for me. And then my book club, just keeping that going. So again, I just love to read, so I just want to have something. But I just want to
Do you see yourself staying in this area?
I'm not considering the D.C. DMV area. Personally, I want to live. If I'm just staying in D.C., I want to live in D.C.
Yeah.
But I know the price of living is a lot. The traffic is a lot.
Yeah.
So if I lived in the outskirts,
Beautiful place.
yeah, so beautiful, so beautiful. Just like Baltimore,
Beautiful
is
place.
beautiful, but
So much going on.
Yeah.
You know, in those fields, specifically like the media, all that is there, Baltimore and DC. So it would be a great, place to be, especially if you're in those fields.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the next step. Finishing school, priority, and then making the move.
So do you find yourself, looking for the news that's in branding and seeing mistakes that people make as far as with their brand? And
Yes.
maybe it's getting in trouble, or maybe they shouldn't have had that event, or should have did it differently.
So what I like to watch is the solution. Because it's very easy to say, okay, this is wrong, that's wrong. But how are we working around the solution? I like to see the timeline, like to see how they go about just investigating certain things, and how they just address it. Because I think that says a lot about the company specifically, or the entity, the artist, whatever. But how they move past it. Like, this is so random. So I was at Teyana Taylor concert last night, and her wig flew off. But it was so, like, she could have panicked. She could have, when you get a chance, please, I have the full video. No, I don't. I can't show it to you. But I can show you the video once we're done this interview. It flies off, like, mid-song, she's into it, flies off, she knows, she feels it, of course. She grabs it, and she's just, like, singing, shaking it, and the crowd is eating it up. I'm eating it up. I'm on the balcony, like, yes! And she's dancing with it, like, she's already a great performer, but the way she took that moment and was like, I'm human, like,
It happens.
Yeah, then later in the show,
Then
later in the show, she's like, see, DC the only piece that can snatch my wig off, and then someone in the audience takes their wig off. Like, yes! Like, it's like a moment, like with Black women and women in general, and men in general sometimes have wigs. Like, it's human.
Yeah.
So to see
Same thing with falling on the stage.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So you mentioned you have your own digital book club.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
So it's a hub for women, men and women to come, discover new reads, have open dialogue, share some opinions, with some excerpts of the book that we're reading. Just something, not fun. I mean, well, to me it's fun. But some people, some people, right? Some people don't think like, oh, that's a whole lot of fun. But something fun and interesting where people can learn and also just have some escape from just like life and think. And I think that's why I got back into reading so much, is because so much was going on in my life. My personal time was never my personal time. So when I had my lunch break or some time during the day, I would just grab a book to read, and the knowledge would be in this book, not all my finances, my time, school, personal life. That's why I like doing it. And then a lot of people kept saying, like, what are you reading? What are you reading?
Right.
You should start. I'm like, okay. There was never like one of those things where I just started reading, like, okay, I want to do a book club.
Yeah.
There's people that want to see me doing something.
Yeah, and they pushed you to, definitely get that out there. And I think, I agree, reading can definitely be fun. I think it is fun. And I think you learn so much. I would even compare reading to being in school. Because I think you read, it enhances your vocabulary. Whether you're reading fan fiction, or you're reading sci-fi, or you're just reading autobiographical novels, like, it definitely heightens things for you. I think it takes you to another level. I even find myself putting myself actually in the book as I'm reading it, even though it's like, it's probably not gonna happen to me.
Right, no, totally.
I definitely find myself doing it. It's definitely when it comes to real life people who have written books about themselves. And I like the fact that they're taking, the reader along with them on their journey.
Right.
And they explain things that, you might have seen in the media or you might have heard about in books, and, they walk through with you. This is my side of the story, because, it happened to me, and I'm going to share this with you. So I really like reading books like that.
Yes, I love autobiographies. One of my favorite is Angie Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
I love her, so when I read her book, I was just like, wow, she just full of so many life experiences, and she's so human, and she's normal.
And I love it when they can be human with us. People who are writing the books, I love it when they don't shield things, or I just love it when they're raw. And I love when they can admit that they did this, that might not have been such a good thing to do, but I did it because we probably did the same thing too before, but just the fact that you're saying it and you're admitting it.
Right.
I really like that.
And I'm in this space right now where I want to end up finding that fire I had my senior year in college. I was just like everything, just back and forth, putting myself there. I slowed up just in life. I don't say it to be a bad thing, but I just slowed up to catch myself. Yeah. Because while that's a great thing of just being active and being, you miss all the fun times around you. I know that's a sacrifice, fun times or just going out, but you want to enjoy life, you want to enjoy the success. So I slowed down to just realize, okay, I'm blessed for this and what I need to do going forward. So I'm in that space now where I'm pushing forward again, and this time full force, because now I have a degree behind me, I have all these accomplishments behind me, and just apply myself to actually the career in the industry.
Thank you so much for being on this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, anything else you want to say?
You guys can follow me, Rated C, RATEDCEE, and then keep supporting my girl Naomi.
Thank you. All right, see you guys later. Bye.